Hey beauty, so today I'm going to be doing my Q&A that I promised you guys like 2 weeks ago. So I am going to dive right into these questions. I had some on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Some people messaged me questions, so I just kind of wrote them down on my phone. That's where I'll be looking and answering them from. I have around 14 to 15 questions, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. The first one is, what are your favorite and least favorite TV shows for your kids to watch? Any you'd recommend? My favorite is probably Daniel Tiger. I feel like he has the most positive message without being annoying, and it is a nice age group that can watch it because Remy will watch him, but also at the same time it keeps Sophie's attention for like the entire episode. So I really like Daniel Tiger. And then my least favorite, I would say Little Einsteins, just because we've watched so much of it. I wasn't a huge fan of Mickey Mouse, but then again, neither are either of my kids. And as far as any that I would recommend, Daniel Tiger. I still think Little Einsteins is a good show and it has a lot of good quality in it, but it's just personally is on my nerves. I would still recommend that. I think Doc McStuffins. So on to question number 2. It is, why do you single pump? Now, the reason I single pump probably sounds so odd to a lot of people is because double pumping is typically more efficient and has actually been proven to produce more milk for you. However, in my case, when I started pumping for Remy, I had a huge oversupply, and double pumping was less efficient for me than single pumping. When I would double pump, I just wouldn't empty well. I would have to end up single pumping anyways, like each boob, and making sure that I was getting everything out. I also required so much like hands-on activity at first that it really just helped to focus on one boob because I am so large chested. But just for a short answer, it's because it's more efficient for myself. I find that I empty better, I empty faster, everything like that, opposed to double pumping. So that's why I single pump. Question number 3 is, do you think you'd ever daily vlog or something to show more of your everyday life? Daily vlog, I don't ever see myself doing that just because it's such a huge commitment. I've seen a lot of people succeed in that, but it's just something that I don't know that I could dedicate myself to, and I would never want to claim to do that and then not kind of uphold my end of the deal. So I don't think I'd ever be a daily vlogger. But the second part of the question, would or something to show more of your everyday life, I'm very interested in doing something like that. I'm just in the process of finding something affordable to carry around because the camera that I use, that you guys most often see me on, it's just too cumbersome to walk around with, and I'm also too nervous to carry it around because I know other YouTubers might be able to replace their cameras if they break. However, you know, I don't have just $500-600 laying around to shell out whenever my camera breaks. So I am very conscious of what I do with my camera, and it just makes me too nervous lugging it around everywhere. But I would like to maybe like do weekly vlogs. I know one mom that I watch a lot, Muse, she does kind of like a weekly vlog type thing where she takes snippets of her weeks and she puts it together, and I think I could probably do something like that. I do want you guys to see me on a more personal level because I feel like more and more I've found myself like out and about and like wanting to like let you guys know something, but I don't think it's like social media worthy where it should definitely be its own Instagram post or its own YouTube video. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do or what the plan is, but I do have a goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers, and a new camera was promised to me by my husband if I could reach that goal of mine. So if we get to that, you guys might start seeing vlogs. I also have to pick a good camera because our lighting in our house, many of you probably know that it's just not the best, so I need something that's really good in low lighting. But on to question number 4. I'm probably going to stop saying what question it is just because I'm going to lose track here soon. What was the transition from 1 to 2 like? I actually did a whole video on this. I'll have that linked in the description box just because I went into so much detail because I really do think that there is a lot. But overall, looking back at it, it was hard. It definitely had its moments. It's definitely a transitional period for everybody in the family. I'm trying to think back to it now, and honestly, it's kind of hard. It feels like Rummy has just always been a part of our family, and that was the one thing that my husband said. He really felt like he couldn't think of a time before Rummy, but a lot of it was just our toddler adjusting to somebody else in the house and also not getting all of the attention. And once you kind of work through that and you guys get on a schedule, things really do start to, I feel like, mellow out and get a lot easier, like as easy as kids can get, you know. They're hard work, they're a ton of work, but yeah, the transition from 1 to 2, in my opinion, I think it was harder in some ways than I imagined and easier in other ways, but looking back at it, it was generally a good experience, and it was nothing too like frightful or anything like that. And if you are a parent who's expecting your second child, congratulations, and you got this. Just hold in there. Some days will be rough, but you'll get through it. Next question is, why did you show your daughters before but not anymore? Now, this could probably be its own video all around, like why we limit our girls' internet access. So if you guys are interested in seeing like a full explanation of what we decided and why, let me know in the comments below. But as far as showing them before but not anymore, it's not necessarily that, it's that Mark and I choose what videos they're gonna be in, and we chose to have them in their update videos. And I think like my pregnancy announcement, I feel like Sophie's made an appearance here and there, I can't really remember all of them, but we chose to put them in those videos, and I'm sure we'll choose to put them in future videos. I know it's probably pretty strange to have a mama YouTuber not have her kids on her channel that much, but that's just what our family has decided. And I wanted to let you guys know that it's not just for my channel or my business related Instagram, Facebook, like whatever it might be. It is our personal social media as well. We are very strict on how we expose the girls to the internet, and we have rules just across the board for everybody, everything, every case. That's just what we've decided, and that's something that's important to us. Like I said, it's probably its own video because you know me, I'm so long-winded. But just in general, the girls, I'm sure, will be in another video, but it's not that I necessarily stopped showing them, it's just that we haven't decided to put them in a video since the last one that they were ever in. Next question, when you were breastfeeding, did you get depressed during the first few minutes? I think you might have meant nursing based off of how your comment was worded, but this can happen whether you're nursing or pumping. And no, I didn't, but it does sound like you may be a DMer. I'll put the explanation of what that is right here. It can be common in women who are breastfeeding, whether you are nursing or pumping. So if you are experiencing that, I would talk to your OBGYN, I would talk to your lactation consultant, just reach out. Also, Facebook support groups are really great. Just know that you're not alone. I'm sorry that you're going through that. You know, it really does suck when you're just trying to do something like provide nourishment to another human being, that you have to deal with these crappy side effects sometimes, but just hang in there. You're doing a great job. Sorry, Sophie was coloring with chalk on the window. The next question is, what type of diapers and wipes do you use, and what type of pull-ups? Remy obviously is the only one in diapers now. For her, we use Honest Company. I've had questions on whether or not I think they are worth it, and I do think they are. However, with both girls being in diapers, it was definitely not doable money-wise for both of them to be in Honest diapers. We had one girl in Earth's Best diapers and the other one in Honest Company, and it just depended on what size was in what brand and who got what that month. That's how we decided that. But I do use Honest now because obviously they have a ton better ingredients, but also they are better for the environment. So we try to be conscious of that when our budget does allow. And the wipes we use is 7th gen. Actually, there was some sitting right next to me. These are the ones, I buy them off of Amazon because they're the cheapest there. They now have, I'm not even going to try to say it, the new formulation no longer has this stuff in it, which is really hard to find because even some of the natural wipes have that in it. I'm not a huge fan of that chemical. And as for pull-ups, right now I'm just using regular pull-ups. My friend Connor was nice enough to give me all of these extra pull-ups she had, and she had a ton, so we've just been using those. And when we get out of those, I think I will switch to the Honest Company as well because we only use one a night, so I don't go through them nearly as often as what we do diapers. Next question is, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about YouTube? But my favorite would definitely be communicating with you guys. You guys are some of the funniest, most positive, encouraging, uplifting people I have ever had the privilege of talking to. And honestly, I know a lot of people like to see the negative side of this world, and especially with everything that's been going on lately, it is really easy to see how we could get so easily discouraged. However, I've fortunately had a positive experience, you know, meeting complete and total strangers, and just how nice you guys can be. And I know it always won't be that way, but I love communicating with you guys. I really do feel like we're friends and we're just chatting, and that sense of community, that really can pull people through some difficult stuff. So that is definitely my favorite thing. My least favorite thing about YouTube, oh, it probably is a little bit of the negativity. I feel like there's always drama going on YouTube anymore. Like, I remember back 7 years ago when I watched YouTube in high school, you got on there to watch makeup tutorials, you got on there to watch like funny skits, and that was the end of it. There was no drama, there was no crap, there wasn't like none of that. So that can be kind of like annoying, because I'm here to just give you guys content and not worry about that stuff, but it's also impossible to be on this platform and not notice it. But I would say personally, my least favorite thing is just the fact that I don't necessarily have a good rhythm yet. I really wish that I had like a good schedule or a good way to work things. I don't think I also have like the best equipment yet. Like, I feel like if I had certain things, it'd make me more efficient. So hopefully within the years I can acquire those things, and like the process of shooting and uploading and editing and everything will be a ton faster. I'll be a ton nicer and stuff like that, because I'm still learning. I mean, I've only been on YouTube for 2 years, so I still have a definite long way to go. But I think that's my personal frustration, is just that like I'm not as efficient as I could be. So that was a very good question. I had to think about that least favorite thing. Next question is also YouTube related, and it is, how do you handle negative comments if you get them at all? And I have gotten a few. Thankfully, like I said, my experience on YouTube has been far more in the positive side than it has been in the negative side, but of course you always get those few random strays that have something to say. And I will say that before, I would say, I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago, I had a totally different outlook on negative comments and stuff. Until I watched somebody's video, and I'm gonna link her video down below because I love Bits of Paradise. I think I'm saying that right. If not, I'm sorry, but they're one of my favorite channels to watch. I love her and her little family. But she made this video about hate comments, and it really did open up my eyes. And she was saying how basically a lot of people on YouTube say that they accept the criticism, they might even accept some of the mean comments because they put their lives out there, and that's something you have to risk in return for that. And she said that she wholeheartedly disagreed, that, you know, what's the difference between going to Target and someone coming up to you and saying something just out of this world, mean and just rude and unhelpful? What is the difference between doing that and doing what we do on YouTube? And I'm sure some people could find the differences, but in my mind, I don't see any difference. I would never walk up to Target and tell some mom she's a horrible human being when I have no idea who she is, why she's in Target, what she's doing here, what her life has been like, and I would never do that on YouTube either. So when it comes to straight hateful comments, like I've had people comment on my C-section videos and call me a horrible mother and all kinds of stuff, those people get deleted and blocked right away. Because if you want to act like you're a better mom than any of us, then you need to go hang out in a special mom club that's just perfect and can never do any wrong anyways. And my channel is definitely not for you, because I keep it real and honest. I'm not trying to be perfect, trust me. But if it comes to just differing opinions, obviously if we can have a respectful discussion, that will totally stay on my channel. But if you're not being helpful, if you're not trying to help somebody, something, whatever it might be, I just don't think there's any place for it on here. So that's my outlook on negative comments, and that's how I handle them. As far as them affecting me, they don't. I don't know. I've always been kind of tougher skinned. I kind of let things like that roll right off my shoulders, but I think it's also because I know that those people don't actually know me. It'd be more hurtful if it came from people who were avid watchers or people who have been with me for years and years. Maybe if they said those things, that would be more hurtful to me. But complete and utter strangers who watch one video and think that they know who I am, or they know my whole story. No, you can calm down and you can simmer somewhere else, just not on my channel. So my battery is yelling at me that it's too hot, so it's time to wrap this up. Next question, do you think there are any supplements that help milk supply? If so, which ones? Yes, I do. The best way to increase your milk supply, and you'll see that more often than not, it'll increase it, is to breastfeed more often, whether it's pumping or nursing, and to make sure you're emptying your breast when you're doing that. It'll be over a week or two and you'll have to do that consistently, but that is the best way to get long-term results. As far as like herbal supplements or food or drink, I've personally never had any success with them. However, I know a ton of women who have. There's ones, you know, just off the top of my head, the ones that everybody's kind of heard about: fenugreek, as long as you don't have a thyroid issue; blessed thistle, goat's rue, brewer's yeast, stuff like that you could try. I will have a video linked down below. It's exclusively pumping, how to boost your milk supply. That's a video that I go over a ton of different stuff in, whether it's troubleshooting, all those different supplements. But by far and away, I think just breastfeeding more, like I said, whether that's pumping or nursing, that alone is the best supplement in my opinion. So next question, do you think you were a natural overproducer, or do you think you did something that caused it? And I think that it's both. I do think that I am a natural oversupplier, just because that was my experience with my oldest Sophie before I started slacking off my schedule. My supply dipped, just not doing anything, just having my daughter and pumping, I did have an oversupply. So I do think it's a little bit of natural there. However, with Remy, when she was in the hospital, she had low blood sugars. I was a gestational diabetic, so that can happen sometimes. I mean, it can even happen sometimes if you're not gestational diabetic, but she was at a higher risk for it because I had that. She had low blood sugars for the first 2 days of life, and we were really working on trying to bring my milk in as fast and as much as possible because they wanted me to nurse her and also give her something on top of that. And I chose to not do formula, so therefore I was pumping and trying to get milk out to, well, it wasn't milk, it was colostrum at the time, but trying to get colostrum to come out to also syringe feed that to her, which is what I did. But I do think that the combination of nursing and pumping straight after birth gave me this epic oversupply, which I want you to hear me loud and clear. I do not recommend in the slightest. Oversupply is a very fortunate thing to have. You do not have to worry about whether or not you're going to be able to nourish your child with breast milk, but at the same time it does come with major complications, and it affects your lifestyle basically. So I want to make it clear that I would not recommend that at all, but I do think that I did cause it, and I will own up to that. However, I wouldn't take it back for the world, because that milk did help Remy's blood sugar numbers. She's had milk ongoing a year and a half. I'm still pumping for her, so I'm very fortunate. I've been able to feed a bunch of other babies through my breast milk as well. So I'm happy with our journey, but I wouldn't recommend that at all. But like I said, I do think that it's a little bit of both of your questions. Second to last question, did you ever feed your child rice cereal? Rice cereal, no. I fed them oatmeal cereal. They both have had oatmeal cereal, and both my girls really liked it. I know everybody has a different opinion about cereal. Good for them. This is what we've decided. The best advice I can give you is to just do your own research, make sure that's unbiased, and also obviously talk to your child's pediatrician. But both of my girls have had oatmeal cereal. So the last question is, how long did you pump for each of your children? How old were each of them when you stopped pumping? It's going to be the same answer for both of those questions because I was pumping shortly after birth with both of them. I stopped pumping at 10 months with Sophie, and she was 10 months old. And I am still pumping for Remy, and she's going to be a year and a half at the end of October. So we are still going. As far as how long they've had breast milk, because Sophie had breast milk way past 10 months, she actually still gets it from time to time, and she's going to be 3 at the end of October. I will say ever since she turned like 2.5, it's been a gradual decrease of not wanting my milk. I'm not really sure why that is, but it's just something that I've noticed. I still give it to her from time to time whenever she'll take it, especially if she's sick. And with Remy, that's still her sole source of liquids. I give her water if we're at the park or something like that, but as far as milk goes, that's what she gets still. So those are all my answers to all your questions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.